For a child who's entering foster care, it's like being dropped off in a foreign country the day they enter care. They don't know the language, they don't know the food, they don't know the customs, and all of a sudden their world has completely changed overnight.
The Annie E. Casey Foundation has a strong commitment to secure and sustain lifelong family connections for children and youth. We believe that all children need and deserve lifelong connections to a safe and caring family. The Icebreaker meeting was a critical practice of our Family to Family initiative. It remains a critical component of our family engagement work through the Child Welfare Strategy Group. When birth parents and foster parents don't have the opportunity to regularly communicate and to build a relationship, then misperceptions occur and tensions can build.
Melissa, I need to talk to you for a minute.
Yeah, what's up?
I got a call from the school today, and I understand that you have not done any work or turned in any assignments. What's going on?
I'm just gonna wait till the end of the semester, turn it all in at once.
Melissa,
Yeah.
you know the rules. If you don't do your schoolwork, then you're grounded.
What?
You're grounded. Do you understand what that means?
No.
You will not be going on any ski trip this weekend.
No, this is unfair. I just sat here and told you I'm gonna turn it all in at once.
Melissa, you know the rules. If you don't do your schoolwork, then you'll stay in the weekend and take care of that. So there will be no ski trip this weekend.
This is unfair. You can't do this.
I missed you so much.
I know, I missed you too.
So what's going on? You look like something's bothering you.
Well, I think my foster parents hate me. I just don't think they like me at all.
Why? What's going on?
Well, you see, there's this ski trip this weekend, and everybody gets to go. Everybody is gonna be there. But me. I don't get to go. They're making me stay home.
And do what?
I have to do work.
Oh, you know what? It seems like that this foster mom is taking advantage of you. I'm calling the social worker, and I'm going to have a conversation with her. And you let your foster mother know that if you don't get to go to the ski trip this weekend, that there's going to be some trouble.
Hey, how was your visit?
It was really, really good.
Good.
Just so you know, I spoke to my mom, and she wanted me to tell you that if I don't get to go on this ski trip, that she's gonna contact her attorney and the judge, and you're gonna be in really big trouble. Just so you know.
Oh, really? See about that.
The Icebreaker simply is a planned meeting between the birth parent and the foster parent, facilitated by the social worker. A private agency social worker for the foster parent may be in attendance, and the youth may be in attendance. Very simple purposes. We want to be able to have the foster parent and the birth parent meet face to face. Kind of get rid of all of those misconceptions and perceptions about each other. And of course, importantly, would be to share information about the care of the child.
To know the parent is to know the child. And if you know the parent, then you're going to know a lot more about that child.
To be able to sit down with that parent and ask the questions about day-to-day living, if they're allergic to strawberries, are they afraid of the dark?
Learning what medication this child is on, versus someone being able to tell them that. And so now here's an opportunity to hear directly from the person who's been caring for that child last.
When I met Mom, she was bitter and angry and looking at me very unpleasant. The turning point for us was just us meeting face to face and her actually sitting down and telling me, Kenyatta, I do not want your child. My main purpose is for you and your child to be together. I am just here caring for your child until you're able to do it for yourself. It wasn't that she was trying to take my place. It was that she had a genuine, caring heart. And it motivated me even more to want to be there. She became more of a sister and someone that I looked up to, something that I never really, had in my life. The icebreaker meetings, I think, is a wonderful thing for the birth parent as well as the foster parent. I think it's very important in bridging the gap because you get an opportunity to meet the birth parent as well as the foster parent, in a neutral setting where, there's a mediator, there's a whole support system around you.
I've seen children be able to speak about their two parents, their two sets of parents, and their two houses, and claiming both of those as a part of their lives.
And now Kaja just doesn't even remember being in foster care. She thinks that it was a period of time where she was at Mommy Tina's house for the summer.
It is possible to build successful, nurturing, supportive relationships between foster parents and birth parents.
The icebreaker ideally should take place within 3 to 7 days of placement. If we wait 30 days or 60 days to do that, anxieties grow, trust issues become a problem. So we want to get that placement off to a good start as early as possible.
Anytime this child is making a transition from one caregiver to another caregiver, it only makes sense that those caregivers are actually talking to each other. And it is a change in our values, a change in how we value the input and respect birth parents to get them engaged in the process.
By having that first contact, that first meeting early on, you can pretty quickly shift the focus to what's in the best interest of the child, what are we going to do to work together for the sake of the child.
The role of the social worker beyond scheduling the meeting is facilitating the conversation.
They're the ones that's leading the meeting. They're the ones that's setting the tone, which is so important. And so how they prepare for it and then how they actually facilitate the icebreaker is very important.
They would have prepared the foster parent and the birth parent for the purpose of the meeting, giving them some instruction on what can be discussed and what cannot be discussed. It's really an icebreaker. It's an opportunity just to greet one another, get some initial information on the child. That is the first step in building this larger relationship between a birth parent and a foster parent.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Icebreaker meeting for the Long family. Thank you so much for coming. I just wanted to remind everybody that we're here so that the birth parent can meet with our foster parent and so that we can talk about Melissa's needs. It's not a time to talk about why Melissa came into foster care, what the case plan is. So we're just going to start by everybody introducing themselves. So if you could begin.
My name is Deborah Singleton, and I represent Kids Care, a private agency. We recruit and license foster families. We also provide support services.
And I'm Heather Williams, and I'm the foster parent, and I'm also with Kids Care Agency.
And if you could introduce yourselves, Ms. Long.
My name is Cindy Long, and I'm Melissa's mom, and I just wanted everybody to know I really would like for Melissa to come back home with me, and I love her very much.
I'm Melissa, and I just want to go home.
Thank you, Melissa. Ms. Williams, could you just share with us your foster care experience, how your house runs, some of the rules that are in your home?
Well, I've been a foster parent for about 2 years now. And like you, I'm a single parent. So I have a 14-year-old daughter that actually will go to school with Melissa.
What I think is important is that the people who care the most about a child are in the same room or having communication with one another. Children see this, and when we build that relationship, when we bridge the gap between foster parents and birth parents, children experience that as positive. They recognize that these persons who really care about me have a good relationship with one another. It's caregivers meeting and talking and sharing information on how best to serve the child in their care.
Well, this would be a good time for us to share some more information. I'm going to fill out a sheet called All About Me, which is going to be about you, Melissa. And once I fill it out, we can look at it afterwards and make sure everything's correct, okay? So if you could just start by sharing what your favorite foods are.
I like McDonald's, pizza, chips, the regular foods everyone likes.
Do you have any food allergies?
No, not that I know of.
Our agency wants to make sure that we tend to any of Melissa's medical issues. Have there been any recent illnesses or any medical concerns we should be aware of?
Melissa's pretty healthy. She hasn't really been too ill. She had the chicken pox when she was little. Sometimes during the winter she gets colds, and she has occasionally gotten the flu. If she does have any need for medicine, she is allergic to penicillin.
Now, occasionally we do attend church. We're Protestants. Would that be okay if we took her with us?
Yeah, okay. That's okay with me. Melissa, would you like to go?
I don't care.
The child then gets an opportunity to see the two parents actually working together, which is so powerful. In foster care, many times it's sort of split loyalties. And who should I be the most loyal to, my foster parent or my birth parent, versus, hey, these two are working together and it's okay. And they're making it okay, so it's going to be okay for me as well.
Melissa, do you have any questions or anything that you want us to know?
Well, I want to be able to call and email some of my friends like Rhonda and Michelle. Is that going to be okay?
Would that be okay with you, Miss Long?
Well, I'm okay with Melissa hanging out with Michelle, but not so much with Rhonda. She's gotten in some trouble with Rhonda. She skipped school with her.
There's a lot of misperceptions, a lot of myths about people whose children enter foster care, but they love their kids and they want the best for their kids, and they have expertise on their children even if they've made mistakes along the way.
Okay, well, is there anything else that you could tell me that'll make your stay more comfortable in our home?
Do you think that we can go to McDonald's on the weekends or so? I kind of miss the fries.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the contact that Melissa and her mom will be having with one another.
We have a pretty flexible visitation schedule, weekday evenings, weekends. What works best for you?
Well, I just got a job last week, and so it's really hard for me to get away during the week. Do you think that I could see Melissa after 6 p.m. during the week and on the weekends?
Sure, I think we can work that out. Can you receive calls from Melissa on the days you don't have visits?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, well, I can have Melissa call between 6 and 9. Would that be okay?
I think that agency administration, supervisors really have to believe that this is good practice. They have to believe in the values of family engagement and model that from the top down.
This is not a program or a pilot. It's really around a philosophy and a practice. It's something we want ingrained into our work as a routine day-to-day process so that anybody in Northern Virginia who is working in foster care, you know that the expectation is you're going to work with birth families to a certain capacity, and that it's part of the work that we do because it's what is good for children.
There was this period of the first, I would say even year, where all of us were naysayers. This is not going to work, this is impossible, it's going to be a challenge. And we recognize that for what it is, but also committed to overcoming all of those challenges. And the pleasant surprise for me has been how this network, this circle of support that I think foster parents and birth parents have developed during the foster care experience continues beyond the time that the child is returned home. And to me, that's the purpose, is that we have created a circle of support for families.
I just think it's very important, for the birth parent as well as the foster parent to get along as well as they can for the child.
It's a happy experience versus a bad experience.
One of the things I think is very helpful about the Icebreaker is that when the two parents are collaborating, are sharing information, are in communication, whether it is by email, by phone, or in person, it really does cut down on that manipulation that the children tend to use against the parents.
Well, you see, there's this ski trip this weekend, and everybody gets to go. Everybody is going to be there. But me. I don't get to go. They're making me stay home.
And do what?
I have to stay home and do work. It's just not fair.
Well, you know what? That really doesn't seem like the Miss Williams that I met at the Icebreaker meeting. I'm going to call her and see what she has to say.
Hello?
Hi, Miss Williams. This is Cindy Long. Yes, Melissa's mom. How are you? I'm sitting here at visitation with her, and she has just told me that she has to stay home this weekend and miss a ski trip to do work. Is that true?
Yes, schoolwork. I got a call from the school, and Melissa has not done any assignments or turned in any work. The rules are, if you don't do your schoolwork during the week, then you have to do it on the weekend. You know, I really feel bad for Melissa right now, but she's going to end up failing if she doesn't get this schoolwork in.
Yeah, you know what? I really can't argue with that. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Work? Do you mean schoolwork? You haven't turned in one assignment all week. What is going on?
When you have two people who are caregivers for children and are communicating, it's going to lead the child to having better self-esteem. So I think we're seeing more placement stability, children feeling secure in their foster homes. So often change in child welfare can take years, and we go through a lot of structural kinds of changes and things like that. But this is something very small that can make a very positive impact for families.
You know, I think sometimes when we think it's hard, and it is hard some days, to schedule the icebreaker and get it on the calendar and get everybody together in the same room, I think we have to remind ourselves why we're doing this and ultimately why we're in this work. And that is because we care about kids and we care about what happens to them. And if we're going to remove a child from their family, we have to ensure that we're providing them the best possible care while they're in our care. And so part of that requires us doing some hard things, like scheduling a meeting, bringing two people in the room who've never met to share information and build a relationship.
As the Child Welfare Strategy Group continues its work across the country, we encourage public child welfare systems to invest in the Icebreaker meeting. We are convinced that this small, informal meeting is the first important step in building relationships that ensure that children and families stay connected.